What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Like I said, super busy day today. We got another upload, another bit of news here. This pertains to the upcoming champion chase that's happening tomorrow. And the timer's already in game. And I believe it's about, 14 and a half hours as of time of recording. So yeah, we got a little bit of a sweetener for the champion chase. It is part of the Cassandra fusion. Now I'm going to put the news on the screen right now, right above my head, and there it is. Hey y'all, this Friday, January 9th, so that's tomorrow, we're planning to launch 2 events simultaneously. First of all, it's going to be a 2x event for legendary champions from Sacred Shards, guys. So from the yellow shards, we're going to be getting 2x chance. So that means we're going to get, instead of the base 6% rate, we're going to get a whopping 12% rate. Sarcasm. And also, we're planning to launch a 10x event to summon Basim Ibn Izak. Sorry, guys. I try my best. But he's one of the new assassins. So he's one of the new assassins. He's going to be in the Sacred Order. Same faction as Ezio. There he is, Basim. Basim, Force Affinity, attack-based damage dealer for the Sacred Order. I haven't play tested this guy yet, so I'll make sure to get a playtest out for you guys tomorrow as soon as possible. Let's take a look at this character here. Base HP just under 16k, base attack just under 1500, a little bit below average if it's under 1500, base speed under 100, which is a bit below average as well. He does have the boosted crit damage here. You can imagine that assassins would be in the higher, the higher speed ranges, right? So doesn't really fit his flavor there. 1000 base HP, which is a little bit higher than average. Check out his kit here. Is A1 double hit. Each hit has a 50% chance of placing a weaken. If he has a veil, chance goes up to 100%. Pretty small, pretty weak condition here, to be honest. 50% twice is 75% chance to land already. So if you go from 100% 2 hits, is it really that big of a conditional upgrade? Not really. Then has a 50% chance of applying debuff spread effect on one random debuff. It's not all debuffs, just one random debuff. And that chance goes up to 100 if he's under veil. Both of these conditions under veil are not super significant, I would imagine, but it should be an okay A1. His A2 attacks all enemies on a 3-turn cooldown, will ignore 15% of the target's defense, will ignore 30% of each target's defense instead if they're under veil or perfect veil. Now this is a good conditional upgrade if he has the veil up. It's an extra bit of ignore defense, which is pretty huge. Also has a 75% chance, 100% chance of placing block actives for 2 turns. This buff will ignore block debuffs if this champion's under veil or perfect veil. This condition, again, is not super crazy. What it should be is that it should be irresistible if he's under veil or perfect veil, because this basically forces him into building accuracy. He always needs accuracy to land this block actives, which kind of sucks. And having like CC debuffs or control debuffs after a big ignore defense attack kind of doesn't make sense, because you want your big ignore defense attack to basically wipe out the wave so that you don't rely on the debuff afterwards. But I guess it's a relatively okay insurance in case you don't hit hard enough to kill the wave. Check out his A3 here. Attacks one enemy twice, deals 5% more damage for each buff and debuff on this champion, and 5% more damage for each buff and debuff on the target. Stacks up to 100%. So you need 20 of those. So you need 20 buffs and debuff mix between the 2 champions. Places perfect veil on this champion for 3 turns and grants an extra turn. So you got a 3-turn veil, but you lose a turn right away, so it's a 2-turn veil. So you might get some value from using this into an attack, and then you can use the AoE right after it with the veil upside. So at least synergistic kit in this regard. Passive, he has the same assassin passive as everyone, and then his secondary passive, Masterful Thief. Whenever this champion is attacked, steals 1 random buff from the attacker and transfer 1 random debuff from this champion to the attacker. These effects will ignore polymorph. Will ignore 25% of the target's resistance when using skills if this champion's under veil or perfect veil. So that's going to lessen the accuracy load on him, and kind of helps what I mentioned earlier, where he should have just irresistible debuffs when he's under veil. This makes it so that, he requires less accuracy. But honestly, it's a little bit of everything, but not really giving us the full. It's not giving us the full meal, right? It's not giving us the full meal. 25%. It's not, the full ignore. Even 25% is kind of low, to be honest. And then you get the 1 debuff spread, and then you got. Yeah, it's just I don't know, not really feeling it. He's got the attack 30% in all battles. So is this champion worth kind of gunning for in a 10x? Not really, to be honest. And even if he wasn't up for grabs, I'm going to tell you guys this, that the champion chase tomorrow with 2x Sacred Shard boost is a total trap, guys. Complete total trap. Do not pull your Sacred Shards for this champion chase tomorrow, trying to go for the 2x boost, trying to go for the 10x on Basim. You see, Basim only will show up from the Sacred Shards. So Plarium is definitely setting a trap for everybody to try to get people to spend Sacred Shards on Basim or this 2x. If you guys are planning to go for any of the Assassin's Creed champions beyond Cassandra, there's going to be opportunities to do so. Make sure you guys save your resources, use them as efficiently as you can. Now, we don't know, but Basim or the other champions will most likely be offered in some capacity. And even if you really wanted this character, and you wanted to pull tomorrow, the odds of you pulling Basim is about 4.5% if you pull legendary. And since they're restricting his 10x to only coming out from Sacred Shards, you have to pull Sacred Shards to have a 10x boost to get Basim. And like I said, if you pull legendary from Sacred Shards, you only have like a 4.5% to get Basim. And the chance of you pulling legendary from Sacred Shard tomorrow with the boost is 12%. So you guys can do the math there, how likely you are to get Basim from pulling Sacred Shards tomorrow. So like I said, guys, this is massive trap, massive bait. And if you guys looked at my fusion calendar schedule, there's going to be 3 summoning events during this fusion. I definitely recommend focusing on the last summon event with the potential of 50 fragments in there. For summon rushes, using Sacred Shards is the best because summon rushes give you value based on the quality of the shard. So the higher the quality, the more points you get. It doesn't matter what quality of champion you pull from the shard. Whereas the champion chase is the opposite. You want to use the lowest value or lowest quality of shard and then hope for higher quality pulls. So stuff like mystery shards, ancient shards are really good because you can get more points by pulling the higher rarity stuff, right? So getting epics from ancient shards, getting legendaries and stuff would definitely get you way more points than the same shards would get you in something like a summon rush. That's why using sacred shards for a champion chase is not very good. Each one of these sacred shards is worth about 270 champion chase points. And usually for champion chase, we're looking at about 3,000, maybe 3,500 points for the fusion piece. So you guys can kind of do the math there on how many sacred shards you guys need to pull just to complete the champion chase. It's just way too much, and it's just not efficient to use sacred shards tomorrow. So I plead you guys to save your sacred shards, use them for other events. The whole campaign, the whole collab is going to last 3 months. There's going to be lots of opportunities to spend your shards. Don't rush out of the gate for this one. Anyways, guys, just a quick PSA for everybody there to try to be cautious for tomorrow's champion chase, especially with using your sacred shard. Don't fall into the early trap of going for Basim. Like I said, the odds of you picking him up are extremely, extremely low. And your sacred shards can be used for other events later down the line. That's going to be it. Thanks so much for watching. Best of luck. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Appreciate you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.